Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
And there he is. What's up, Croc?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Still, welcome back, man. Whew.
What's going on?
Well, the people came back to hear us again, so we must be doing something right.
Let's get the people what they want then, man. Let's not keep them waiting.
Well, then they need to know that this particular episode we're going to focus on is this E word that has been going around on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. We see video after video after video of people embodying this little value we call entitlement.
Everybody has some of that, huh? I like to say everybody has entitlement, but it comes from different places.
What do you mean by that? Different places.
Okay, so if we look at races, I start with us. A lot of black people feel like they owe something, so we feel like we're entitled to whatever.
I bet you that all started with that 40 acres and a mule thing.
Right. Right. Then you have the people that's been running the country forever, and that's why they feel like they're entitled, because they've been in control forever. So why not? You see what I'm saying? Like they always, I'm not talking about everybody, but I'm just talking about a particular group of people.
So it sounds like to me, entitlement starts with power. You got some kind of power, or you desire some kind of power.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe the desire.
You use that to hold on to or obtain or grab whatever you want for yourself.
Right.
Not care about anybody else in the process.
I was thinking about kids as well. You think kids are entitled?
Whew.
I didn't ask to come here. You know, people say I didn't ask to come.
Look,
I didn't ask to be born. So now whatever I want, you got to provide. Dealing
with kids, whether it's my own or in the classroom, there always seems to be this sense of, you know what? I'm always focused on me. I need to do me. I need what's mine. And you know what? This reminds me of, so I look at a lot of stuff on Instagram, and you just reminded me of this story. Remember them old court TV shows where you could like sue somebody in small claims court?
Like absolutely.
Court or
yeah.
I don't know. I remember what show this was, but it was this kid who was suing his dad for $60,000 due to mental anguish. And so the judge, better than me, he was like, okay, let me just walk through this with you. What's going on? And so like the basis of the kid's argument was that his dad had been promising him something since he was a child, and he's born near Christmas, so usually he gets one gift for Christmas and birthday. That's just how it go. If you're born, that's just how it go.
It sucks for him.
But then he was like, but dad, he got a promotion and a pay raise. So with greater promotion, that means greater gifts, right? And he was like, I feel like I should get a gift for my birthday and one for Christmas. But it don't stop there.
60 bands though.
Look, here's where the 60 band come in. So his dad bought him a car. All right. Brand new Tesla. But that's not the car the kid wanted. He didn't want an electric car. He wanted something like a Lamborghini or a Porsche or a Ferrari. And that's the source of his mental anguish, because he felt like he kept up his end of the bargain, which was do good in sports, do good in school. Now dad owes me this. Mind you, dad bought him a brand new, fresh off the lot Tesla. But he was like, this is the sticking point for me. The kid was like,
dude,
if
do
I
you know
wanted to plug up something, I plug up my phone. I want to plug up my car.
Do you know the rant that I would have went on as a dad? Like when I got finished with my son, he would have been so embarrassed. He cut the camera. We don't need to have this on TV. What I'm about to tell you can't even be aired. What I've done for you and have done and continue to do for you, and you sue me? Like that gotta be strict. That gotta be strictly entertainment purposes. But you have people. You really have people to think like that though.
Right.
And that's like the perfect example of entitlement.
And I don't
When
know
you've always had
what these people are now, just content creators. I'm gonna come up with something stupid
yeah.
to get my name out there. But
When you used to always having something and you take it for granted, I think that's when you start the entitlement comes in. Like you never had to work for something or you never had to say, like you said, get it out the mud. How do you teach entitlement?
As a teacher, that's one of my biggest struggles.
How do you teach a
student
not to have it? Don't teach entitlement, but how do you teach kids not to be entitled?
Well, that's the point I'm making. Because if some of my kids from the lowest incomes and they see a family member who didn't do well in school, and they see that family member is surviving off of government entitlements. And so we're talking about SNAP, we're talking about Medicaid, and they feel like, well, you know what? That's what I'm going to do too. On the other hand, I'm trying to educate them on these are some things you could really do with your life with the skills and the talents that you have and the skills and the talents that we can learn in school that you can go so much further. But they feel like they just entitled to this.
Wow.
And so
I just had that conversation with some coworkers earlier. How like some kids don't even know how to want more. They don't even have the sense to know that I don't have to. I'm in a situation, but I don't have to stay in the situation.
I don't have
like
to
it's okay.
Need more.
It's okay for me to move up out of this. You know what I'm saying? But like in those environments, we have a way. I don't want to say well, it depends on your mindset. Like we had, like I say, born and bred in the projects. But my mindset was also different. As like, I know I don't want this forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to be something better than this. You know what I'm saying? Sharing a room with a brother, which, like I say, it's all love. But I don't want to get too far off my point. Some people, they can't change their mindset. Like, they don't know how to change their mindset.
They like locked in.
They locked in and they feel like it's okay to be locked in. Like, this is like they living. And like no, like you're not living, you existing. Like you're not living.
As far as a mindset, that's like modern day slavery. Because I am caught up here. I feel like there's nothing I can do. So I'm not even going to try. And so as a teacher, I'm like banging my head against the brick wall trying to open up your mind to see something.
Trying to pour that knowledge in. Trying to open up your mind and pour that knowledge in and that. But you know what you can't give them? That want and that will, man.
Right.
That motivation, man. Yeah, I asked somebody a long time ago when I first started. I might have been my second or third year in. Like, how do you motivate them? And I haven't got an answer yet. This is my 18th year going into education. They say it got to be intrinsic. That you got to make them want it for themselves. How do you make somebody want something for themselves though? Like the very essence of what you're saying don't make sense.
And see, the problem with the education at our level, because we middle school teachers, I get this kid for 1 hour a day. And so after me, I'm not responsible. I can't tell you what another teacher is going to tell a child. Yeah. And I'm not naive enough to think that all teachers got a child's best interest at heart.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I know some teachers that go out there and destroy, kids' self-esteem, whether they mean to or not. I like to think it's unintentional.
Right.
Then once the child leaves the school doors, and you go out into the community. Again, we don't know the influences, the things that he or she is seeing that is combating everything I'm telling them in that 1 hour a day.
Bro, it's like imagine, I tell people, imagine going to class and your teacher, you got these beautiful notes on the board and diagrams, whatever you need. Okay, I give you that, like you say, an hour. I have mine for 2 hours, different subjects. So still, like you said, an hour per subject.
Mm-hmm.
I got this beautiful information on the board. I'm trying to give it to you. You get it. Guess what? Next day, fresh slate. We got to do it all again because you done went home to the same environment that I'm trying to get you out of, that you're so comfortable in, and that people make you think that, oh, this is the life. I got to come back and we got to start all over from a blank slate.
All over again. And I think it's that monotony, that part of it, that frustrates a lot of the good quality teachers that are
Yeah.
out there because you just feel like you on a hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel, man. It can't
Sometimes.
get off. But I think it's even, for me personally, it's even the conversations like dealing with high school and middle school kids. Like you can't even really have a conversation with them because they don't have a concept of time. So they act like it's like this is never going to happen to me and this is so far off. But I'm like, nah, you're only 3 or 4 years from maybe getting a job. And if you can stay on the job, I ain't gonna say if you keep a job, you might can, but you have to learn to stay on the job because the skills that you learn on the job is the skills you're gonna need in life anyway.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you have to learn to get along with people who don't look like you, people that believe in different stuff as you. It's a set of rules that you're gonna have to follow at that job. It might be a uniform that you have to wear at that job. It's gonna be certain things that you have to comply with in order to keep your job. And so when I
Gotta learn
say
dependability, you gotta learn reliability, you gotta
being on time, you know what I'm
learn
saying? Being on time. So those social skills, like you gotta have that to be successful as an adult.
mm-hmm.
So if you can't do it on somebody's job, it's gonna be probably hard for you. I don't know, man.
And for a lot of these kids, I keep trying to tell them, look, you feel like you're entitled to certain things throughout life. Fine, dream big, go for it. But if you don't put in the work to go ahead and get yourself to that level, I'm telling you right now, there's gonna come a time that your mama, your grandma, your aunt, whoever you staying with, they gonna boot you out.
It's coming.
It's coming. They are trying to take care of themselves.
A
And
grown person,
once you a grown person, they not trying
able,
to take care of
able-bodied,
another
sound
grown.
mind, able-bodied and sound mind. Yeah, it's time for you to start working and become a productive member of society.
You not gonna stay up in here all day long playing Xbox while grandma going out to the job.
And won't take out trash, won't wash a dish, won't do nothing. Just jokers, just sorry.
just, just,
Nah.
just take it, take it, take it, take
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You
Leave you drained on it.
huh,
It
man?
leaves you drained. So with that said, just a quick question. How long, like, is it a time frame? How long do you give somebody like that? Okay, let me ask you, let me put a different thing on it.
Personally,
Versus a young adult versus somebody older.
all right. So, first of all, I ain't taking care of anybody older. It just ain't happening. So, all my kids understand the deal. Once you turn 18, there are one or three things you're going to do. You either going to college, you getting a job and contributing to the household, or you going to the military. One of those two, one of those three things, you going
There's nothing else.
and you could do two at a time. Job, college,
If you smart,
military, college. I mean, you can
yeah. That's why I say you can kill two birds with one stone, but
but
you
you're
can't.
not just staying here. And so I don't care what you do. My preference, I have a preference. I love
So
to go to college, but you got to do something, if nothing else, to keep your mind and your body active. You,
okay,
you got to do something.
I just seen the comedian. He got a special. Just watch his special. He said he got an older son. Say his son left the house twice, saying he was leaving. Never got put out, but saying his son left the house twice. So the first time, I forgot how long he was going, about a week or so. Came back, said he ain't say anything, right? Couple months go by, couple weeks go by. Man, I'm grown, man. I got to do this. I got a man. I got to get it out the mud. His dad, like, first of all, I got everything you would ever need. Like, why you got to get it out the mud? Like, you set up for life, okay? Now, this is a very difficult opinion because I heard a lot of celebrity men, especially men, saying, I ain't giving my son nothing. They got to earn it. That's my money. Mm-mm. So that's, first of all, that's one point. So then he said he came back. His ego wouldn't let him come in the house. So what he did, he was sleeping in his car on his dad's property. So my question to you, Doc, and I already know the answer, but I'm gonna ask anyway, because he said, I would never let my son be homeless. Mm-mm. He said, I would never let my son be homeless because once you're homeless, you don't have nothing. You can't get a job. Just like that's like rock bottom. Mm-hmm. He said, so I would never let my son be homeless. So with that said, at what point?
My child is like the prodigal son. My child will always have a place to stay with me.
Absolutely.
If we hit hard times, we hit hard times.
Absolutely.
Just like I know my parents would do for me.
Right.
However, you ain't just going to be sitting up in here while I'm going off to work and you just chilling. Like, I need to see you doing something. Job searching.
Yeah, I think that's
finding.
I think that's the key to me.
Clean the house while I'm gone, but you got to do something.
Bro, I actually been through it. I've been through it with my own child, and I went through it with a nephew. Mm-hmm. And a lot of family members didn't understand the dynamics and the conversation that was had when the arrangements was made. It was conversations had. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this come with a little few stipulations. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, hey, there's no way I'm going to go to work, pay the bills, and come home and watch another grown person laying up chilling while I've been working all day, bro.
Right.
Okay, so for one, it just does something to me. Just even think about it does something to me, especially at this age of my life when I've been working more in my life than not at this age. You see what I'm saying? No. You see what I'm saying? So I'm tired of working. I'm God bless me with the lottery or anything. I receive it. But anyway, it just goes through me.
Ain't those blessings through me
to think somebody's chilling at my house that I go and bust my tail for every day, and you're not contributing in no fashion, and you think it's okay. Like, even I want you to want to see that you need to do better. And that's the same way with them kids. And it frustrates me when you don't have the intellect or the self-reflection to say, how can I contribute? I'm not doing anything financially. At least I can keep the house clean, wash the dishes, take the trash out. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit and push this conversation forward. So is that like, did you just hit that 3-wheel motion? Mm-hmm. So is this what LeBron did for Bronny? Or would you say Bronny had that sense of entitlement that he just had to be in the league?
I feel like I don't know that young man. But from what I have seen, I don't feel like he's entitled. I think with LeBron and his mom seemed down to earth as well. I feel like he knew people was gonna feel like he was entitled, so he wanted to put the work in to show everybody that he earned it and it wasn't given.
But did he earn it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's my point.
You know why he earned it? Hold on, let me tell you why he earned it.
All right.
Because there was a rule put in the league at some years ago that you cannot go to the NBA without going to college at least 1 year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of people that made that jump. Some have been very, very, very successful. Some have not.
Okay.
But, however, That is a right that they earned. They did what the rules said. They went to college 1 year, and now he's in the NBA. Now, the fact that he got drafted to his dad's team, that may be some strings pulling in the background. But you know what? I ain't mad at that. Because certain people in this country have been doing it since the beginning of the country.
See,
so you know what?
You were part of the conspiracy theory because of that purple and gold thing hanging out over
You get it
there.
right up.
You know,
I can get it right up.
anything purple and gold, you gonna fight for it. But here's my point. Let me give you my point. So I feel like he is entitled to some degree because you said you cited this rule, like you got to go to college for a year.
Let me ask you: are you saying he is entitled, or he feels like he's entitled?
Nah, Bronny's entitled. Let me say it clear.
Okay. So you giving him the pass to be entitled?
I believe Bronny is entitled. I believe he felt like this was his right to be a part of the NBA, and so I'm going to do what I believe is right, even though it's not. So, oh yeah, I'm on the other side of this thing. But
so you don't think he put the work in?
Let me give you my point, and then you tell me if I'm wrong or not. So you got this rule. You got go to college for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Bronny went to USC. So within the confines of the rule, yes, he's on the right side. He did what he was supposed to do. My point is, during his first season, what happened to Bronny? He got injured. And so he only played a few games before the injury took place. That pulled him out for the rest of the season. So to me, he didn't put in the work. He still hadn't showcased what he could do against that level of talent. And so now, if you think about the number of college players that play ball at the same level he did, that played better than he did, that went undrafted. And then there are 60 picks in the NBA draft, right? Maybe some compensatory picks or something like that. But
yeah. I thought he was the last pick at 55.
All right, so 60 picks. Lakers picked him up at 55.
Okay.
He went through almost the entire draft. Every team has had the chance to pass up on him, if not twice, at least once. And somehow, some way, he just happens to end up on the Lakers right before the draft ends. You know we often talk about conspiracy theories on this show. And so it's I'm not saying this is a conspiracy theory, but I am saying it seems a little fishy to me. Do you see my point?
Yes and no. I don't quite understand how is this a conspiracy. For one, that's the first thing, and I say that because LeBron came out and told everybody he wanted to play with his son, and he told everybody that wherever his son going, that's where he was going to play at. So, I mean, it was in your face. It wasn't a conspiracy, okay? But just to piggyback off that, and I'm trying to make sure I'm going in the right direction with it. I remember Luke Walton was a Laker. His daddy was a Laker. His daddy coached for the Lakers.
Bill Walton.
He wasn't. I mean, I ain't hear nobody fuss about him when he. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody said nothing.
But then,
so for me, the situation was bigger for me because people have been putting their family in positions to get money and get paid since, like I said, since the beginning of the country.
That's true.
So, and the man came out and told you, "I want to play with my son." I would have did the same thing. It's nothing I would have did different than LeBron. I would have relished the opportunity to make history and play with my son. Now, I'm gonna go another direction with this. I'm trying to make sure I got my thoughts together because
But
I'm
isn't that
thinking about the people in the G
the
League,
of
right?
the James family though? Isn't that the where we defined entitlement at the very beginning, having the power or desiring the power to make the outcome as you wish? He used his own influence to put his son in a position that nobody else had the chance to be.
I still don't think it's entitlement on Bronny's part, though. I think it was entitlement. From what I understand, it sounds like it's entitlement on LeBron's part.
Okay, so
you see what I'm saying?
this,
Because LeBron, you think about it, Bronny ain't got no power. I mean,
but,
he got a last name James, and LeBron is daddy, and they come with a little bit of flex, absolutely, but not on the NBA level.
All right, let me throw the
If that was the case, what about? I'm trying to connect this with Prime and his son, because if we talking entitlement, I would have felt like he thought he was more entitled to be in the league than LeBron. I mean, than Bronny, because he was, and like I say, I know he was. I know the young man is confident, and I love it. I love it. But to a lot of people, that came off as arrogance, as entitlement. And guess what they did? And guess what happened to him?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like if society felt like Bronny was entitled, I still feel like I don't know if he would have made it.
So I feel like
LeBron being his dad
might have got lost right there because they don't know what we're talking about. So let me go ahead and give you some context. We're talking about Shador Sanders.
Yes, sir.
And Shador Sanders, his dad is the great Hall of Famer Deion Sanders. And before the NFL draft, now of course, Shador is a part of my beloved Cleveland Browns America's team, but before the draft, Deion was acting like Shador, and he had another son in the draft, Shiloh. He was acting as their agent. He had came on and kind of steered the draft towards what he wanted. He told everybody, I don't want my son playing for this team, that team. He's not going to play for you. There's only a certain number of teams that he's going to play for. And so what did teams end up doing? Shador was projected to be a first-round draft pick.
Top.
If not a top 10 pick.
Yeah, definitely.
And so first round came and went. Second round came and went. It's like, surely he's going to be picked up in the third round. Third round came and went. Here's the kicker with the third round. One of the teams he was hoping would draft him, the Cleveland Browns, they drafted another quarterback from Oregon, Dylan Gabriel, and then just let Shador sit there. Fourth round came and left.
Fifth round.
It wasn't until the fifth round, and I don't know if it was pity.
Was it sixth round or fifth round? I thought it was the sixth round.
He got picked up in the fifth round. The Browns.
Fifth round. Okay.
In the fifth round, go ahead and pick him up, and so it just to all those that are prideful, man, the Bible hits you again. Pride cometh before the fall. We just didn't know we were talking about the NFL draft at the time.
But I feel like that was a case in which, and I felt like the difference between Bronny and Shador, I felt like he was a little bit more exuberant with his confidence. Mm-hmm. He was a little bit more outspoken. He was telling people, "Yeah, I did the work. I put in the work. I deserve to be here." No, that's not. Bronny was like, "I put in the work, and I'm grateful for the opportunity." And I'm saying that, and they different people. And hey, it is what it is. But I felt like a lot of that came off as entitlement to some people.
Well, I will give you that fact.
Bronny, you know what I'm saying?
Was humble. He was humble through the entire process.
Yeah.
Another scripture comes to mind in that, a father knows how to give good gifts to his children. And you can't tell me that Bronny didn't have any say in this process, because what grown son is really going to let dad have full control over everything? The son is going to dictate and tell what my desires are. And I feel like the type of father LeBron is, He wouldn't have pushed it if Bronny didn't want it.
And he wasn't ready for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I felt like he knew his son. Like I say, he lived with him. You know if he was ready or not. You know what I'm saying? Him being LeBron being who he is and who I think he is as a man, I felt like he would have been like, I ain't gonna set my son up if I don't think he can succeed. You know what I'm saying? Like who would? Like who would? And a lot of parents, even at we talking about middle school basketball. You know, a lot of parents, even at that level, think they kid is the savior, man. So
right. Play
yeah.
my kid more. Why didn't you play my kid more? Why my kid sit on the bench at this point?
You know, your kid don't know to play. Here it is January, and we've been practicing since October, and your kid don't know to play. That's why he on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. But anyway, getting back to Boo's, yeah, I felt like LeBron would have set him up if he knew he hadn't really put the work in. And I hate to say deserve, because do we really who deserves what? I don't know. But I think the kid put the work in, and he needed the opportunity to see if he can do it. And I think after 2 or 3 years, like I said, we'll be like, yeah, he needs to be in the NBA. Like he's an NBA player.
So I feel like we need to go ahead and put a pin in this conversation. We'll bring this one back up 2 or 3 years from now. And
yeah, he gonna. I'm not saying he's gonna be LeBron. I definitely don't think he'll be LeBron, but I think he'll be a decent NBA player, a good role player is what is the best way to describe.
But it do put another question in my head though: who's gonna be better long term in their career, Bronny or Bryce?
They say Bryce is better. Like I say, I don't know. I don't keep up with them boys. I don't be on Instagram looking at their highlights, so I don't know. They say I know he's what they say. He's a little bit more athletic. He shoot better, from what I understand.
Bryce got some skills.
They say Bryce a dog, so we'll see. I don't know.
He'll be interested now. You know, we are quickly running out of our time here. But do you think that Bryce is going to end up on the team when he go with Bronny and LeBron?
Okay, first I'm gonna start with this. I think LeBron can play probably. I think he can play longer than I was gonna say. I think he can start probably another maybe 2 years.
I didn't think he would be able to go at 40 and complete a whole season, but he showed.
So that's what I'm saying. It depends on how he want to go out. I think he can probably start for another 2 years, but he could be in the NBA probably for another 5.
You think he could do it for another 5, man?
I think if he would come off the bench in spurts and give you 4 or 5 minutes here or there out of quarter, I still think he can help a team win.
Does he play for 5 more years?
See, that's what I'm saying.
At home, hold on, with Savannah at home saying, when is it going to be my time?
That's what I'm saying, right? But Bryce only got what? Bryce a senior this year?
You senior this year, I believe, yeah.
So he'll senior this year. He have to do a year in college. Ain't but 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, like I say now, depending on if he want to come off the bench, if you want to be a starter, and only he knows how his body feel, he can give you 3, bro. He can give you 3.
Ron, give us 3. Okay.
He can give you 3.
That'd be real interesting to see.
If he, because he definitely probably start next year, so that'll be 1. The year after that, I think he'll see, depending on how far they do in the playoffs. He got a lot of miles, but he got a lot of miles on the wheels, boy. He got a lot of miles on the thing, boy.
I think this is the part where LeBron gonna use his entitlement, and they're gonna allow wheelchairs in the NBA. LeBron playing wheelchair.
Bro, man, and I know he ain't gonna never leave LA, but if he, man, look here, if he leading the second squad, definitely he can come off the bench 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, I think yeah. Let me go down here in the post. I ain't all that dribbling. I ain't gonna do all that. I'm gonna go down to the post. I'm gonna work you a little bit in the post, turn around, maybe give you the fadeaway, back you down, throw a little few assists. Bro, I think he can give you about 3 or 4 though. I ain't gonna lie.
He on that Juwan Howard on the Miami Heat plan.
Haslam. You know, Haslam been with the Heat forever. Finally retired, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Last year.
So, man, I tell you, I've enjoyed this conversation with you once again. I don't know if we really came to any kind of resolution to entitlement in this country, but hopefully the people got something out of this conversation.
Doc, you said something to me, and I forgot how you said it. You're not the only one like driving, especially like driving for me personally. Like I'm not the only one on the road. I'm not the only one got somewhere to be. Other people in the same rush. Other people got somewhere they need to be or should have left the house 15, 20 minutes ago.
I know what you're talking about.
So,
We're talking about people being in a rush on the road, and like not everybody on the road is an obstacle. They
yeah,
represent
yeah.
people and families, and so we
Mm.
need to stop just trying to just run over everybody,
Doc,
whether it's in the car, in the checkout line.
I got you, man. You said it on my lap. I got you, man. You don't need it. That's it, man. I got it. I got it. Duly noted. Duly noted, man. Jeez.
I wasn't trying to come for you.
All on my feet, man. All on my feet, man. I can't even sit down, man.
'Cause,
All on my feet, bro.
I'm guilty of this too, especially when
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all have our own priorities. We tend to forget that everybody else, they people too, they have their priorities. So if we
I
can
need to remember that. I need
bottom
to
it
remember that.
down and really just focus on
I
being
really, really.
supportive of each other.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. That's my word for the day right there. That's my word.
I tell you what, this was a great conversation. Once again, people, we hope that you go out, have fun, share some time with your family, spend time with those that you love. Crockett,
Mm.
final words.
Don't be entitled.
Yes, sir. Don't be entitled. All right, let's say it together in 3, 2, 1. We out.